Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Sunday, April 3, 2022. The sun is in Aries today with Mercury and Chiron. Sun, Mercury, and Chiron are right in the midst of a big triple conjunction. Sign influences most likely affected by this would be Leo, Aries, Virgo, Gemini, Aquarius. It can really help to take a look at your chart and find out what signs have the most influence in your life. Sun in Aries is typically a time when we feel alert, refreshed, and ready to make progress. It just so happens that the planets have literally aligned at this time to bring our attention, focus, and intellect to the solutions we seek regarding our ability to connect with others through genuine self-expression. So, this is to be the primary focus of our drive forward, to address any idea we have in our hearts that we really don't belong anywhere, or that we don't need or desire human connection. We do need human connection in order to survive and to thrive. Not every relationship to a person or group is going to be one where we can get that sense of belonging. Understand this, and the fact that there should be no struggle to fit in where you do belong. If you find yourself committed to circumstances that constantly leave you feeling like the bottom dog, or worse, as though you weren't even invited to the party, consider withdrawing your participation. Personally, Aries Sun here would rather have dinner and a movie alone than to spend it feeling unwelcome or in any kind of company that drags them down. I know I keep talking about this ability to connect, and now I seem to be saying we might be better off spending some time alone. One part of gaining acceptance from others is to become accepting of ourselves. Connection to others is going to come more easily when we notice that we are good company. Be good company to yourself. Then let in only those others who can show that they are good company too. We all require support and encouragement. We can resource a fair portion of that from within. When it comes to the friends and cohorts we surround ourselves with, it pays to be good company for those who can show up for us, be delighted to see us, and lend a hand without, too much grumbling. The waxing crescent moon here is in Taurus all day today. The waxing crescent invites us to continue thinking, dreaming, and laying plans for the culmination of our heart's desire. The moon's transit in Taurus gives us an opportunity to slow down and become grounded in the familiarity of this part of the creative cycle. In Taurus, whatever you put your heart into is going to grow strong. Okay, I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I want to point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key. If you desire a point of reference, it's right here. I have otherwise divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself and what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects that the moon makes are all relatively brief, and they may have some impact on those things you think, feel, know, intuit, but might not ever choose to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives, and this is how we show up, how we express ourselves in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side of the page because it has more to do with how we express ourselves outside of the heart and home. We begin on the moon side today, actually this afternoon, Central Standard Time, at 12:47. The moon makes a conjunct with Uranus. Both planets are in Taurus. We talked a little bit about Uranus and Taurus recently, right? When Venus was conjunct to Mars, Venus rules Taurus, and Venus likes to feel secure. So, here we are, Uranus and Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So, when I say that Venus likes to feel secure, I'm saying we like to feel like we're receiving everything we need to be supported. So Uranus, the change maker, isn't exactly comfortable fit in this sign. We've been experiencing the uneasy shifting landscape of our foundations lately, and this conjunction with the moon puts that vibe in a pressurized situation with our inner life. We may experience some lack of control or impulsive behavior in the conscious or unconscious urge to get what we can at this time. Check your impulsive heart. Not every urge is one that you need to act on, especially in the heart and home, and especially just in a pressurized situation with the urge to make change. Generally, I don't prefer to make changes under pressure. I like to have time to consider my moves. And then on the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column, we are currently in the full influence of this triple conjunction. Signs most likely affected by this would be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Virgo, and Aquarius, but everyone is included. The Sun, Mercury, and Chiron forming an interplanetary wonder team for healing our social wounds from the inside to the outside, because being able to relate and collaborate with others brings with it a lot of great perks that help us dream and grow and become more like the best possible version of ourselves. Chiron did reach its aphelion yesterday, indicating that this healing vibe is available, but we may have to reach for it a little bit. Aquarians especially may grasp this vibe right here. Use this Aries initiative right now and drive to show progress. Next week's highlights: Mars goes conjunct to Saturn tomorrow, and then, when is it? Venus enters Pisces on Tuesday. Friday, we have that first quarter moon in Cancer, which will be when we switch from dreaming and planning and plotting and scheming to actually taking action. And then on Sunday of next week, Mercury is going to zoom ahead into Taurus. So that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like my video, subscribe, click the notifications bell. I post here every day and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Also, friends, I appreciate it so much when you comment to ask questions or to provide me some encouragement. Please put a comment in the section below. I will see it and respond. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. See, I was going to get that word random in there somehow. All right, let's get into it. So, the Three of Wands represents the second 10 days of the sun's transit through Aries. So what this tells us, first of all, is that we're in the middle of the very beginning. Spring is 3 months long, and we're in the first month, right? The first of 3 months. And then we're in the second 1/3 of that first month. So we're really right in the middle of the very beginning. We're still making plans. We're still thinking about how we're going to move forward. We have pushed some things into motion. We have really, we've gotten off to a good start with, some planning and some foresight and some inspiration and drive and spark, that kind of passion you get when you really believe in something that you're doing. And now we're in the Three of Wands, and this is a mode of looking ahead. You might feel expansion. You might see some rapid growth once you set the thing that is your heart's desire in motion. The journey, the quest to get to your heart's desire in motion. You might see some rapid growth. You might make some big progress up front. And this is just our reminder that our dreams become solid plans when we act on them. But also, I like this card because this person has some accomplishments under their belt. So they have a lot of confidence, a very confident time. And also, they're looking out over their domain or looking out over a waterway of some kind there. and they can see the far shore. And that reminds me that you can always sort of look ahead and in having foresight, as an Aries, as an Aries sun, I can say having foresight is not something that comes naturally to everybody. Having foresight is something that some of us have to work on. But be prepared to have foresight. Remind yourself to look ahead, to see the big picture, to remember what the goal is, and to peer across the water at it and say, okay, and I see these obstacles in the way, these are the things that I know I'm going to have to confront and take care of before I can get to that goal on the opposite shore. So have some foresight at this time. If you're not used to practicing it, I suggest that you do. All right, and then I'm going to mix up my cards a little bit while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Aries, and so are Mercury and Chiron in conjunct with the sun right now. They're all sort of overlapping each other up there in the sky from our perspective. Now, of course, Chiron is nowhere near Mercury and the sun. Now, Mercury and the sun, they're actually very close to each other. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. But Chiron is nowhere near. Chiron floats around out there between Saturn and Uranus, right? So that's way out in the solar system. They don't get anywhere close to these other two planets. But from our perspective, because we are watching these planets in orbit in their orbits from our own orbit, it can look as though they're taking up the same space in the sky, and that's what astrology is based on, is how things look from here. It's perception and symbolism, and right. So the perception here is that we have a great moment in the sun to think, plan, and communicate about how we go about talking about what we need and expressing ourselves in a genuine way, and really being able to connect with other people, because those connections are instrumental to our progress as human beings. And then on the moon side of the page, moon conjunct Uranus, check your impulses. Just double check yourself before you do anything impulsive around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Make sure your heart is in the right place, or if you can wait to act on that impulse, I would even wait a couple hours just to act on that impulse. Make sure I still feel good about it after I would have done it. All right, and with all of that said, I'm gonna turn that card over. Okay, 5 of Cups. The first thing I notice here is that both of these people's backs are turned, and this person's stance, their posture, is one of confidence and even somewhat ease. But this person's stance is a little more sad and depressed. And cups are water, and water represents emotion, especially. Also intuition and inspiration. Our creative flow is included in water. So, 5 of Cups is a card about mourning. It's about, acknowledging loss and acknowledging that loss makes us feel sad. And it's even okay to mourn loss. In fact, it is effective for your mental health if you just acknowledge your loss. If you say, look, I lost my dog the other day and I feel like crap about it, that's good acknowledgement of the loss. If you can say it out loud, even if you can just say it out loud to yourself, rather than not talking about it, rather than keeping that feeling under wraps, express it in some way, and that will help with the healing. Okay. And then the other thing to remember here is that, not all of the cups got spilled. So, this can represent a creative investment, definitely a love investment, a time investment, an investment of passion and drive and energy even, that is somehow wasted. It got spilled. We lost something that we had given a lot of ourselves to. So of course we're going to acknowledge that, but we also have to remember that it's not all is lost, is what those 2 other cups mean. They're upright there, and they are ready for you to tap into them, to use this creative and emotional resource backup that you have to go ahead and, engage determination mode and move forward. We cannot let the mourning of a loss necessarily be an obstacle to the achievement of our heart's desire. We gotta, if you're gonna get to your dream, you're gonna get to it, even through whatever you lose to get to it. You've got to be willing to give up everything to get to your dream. That's yesterday we talked with the Page of Wands about unintended consequences, right? If you have a dream and you're like, I would give anything to have that dream. That dream so inspires me. I love that dream. I want to be that person. I want to live that life, right? And it's something you have imagined for yourself, and that just makes your heart really happy. You're going to go determinedly forward. You're going to find expansion. You're going to grow. You're going to be able to see ahead that there are obstacles coming up, but there are going to be unintended consequences also for our drive forward. Okay, there are going to be losses that we were not prepared for, and there will also be losses that we think we're prepared for, but you're not ever really prepared for a loss until you lose something or someone. So just remember that this feels really good, but when this person gets to the far shore, they're going to be looking back on some losses. They're going to be sad about it, but they're also going to be glad that they maintained their determination, and they picked up what emotional capacity they had, and they drove forward with it. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you for being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.